Hi friends! Welcome! My name is Baron, and this is my channel where I talk about book stuff. I'm the Book Baron. Welcome in. Today I wanted to do some more recommendations for you, but I wanted to do a little bit different of style. I saw a lot of these videos like maybe a year back, and I feel like the trend has kind of died down and I want to revamp because a fun way to recommend stuff is through books that we already know and love. So what I've done for you today, I have tried to pair popular reads. Most of these have been Goodreads Choice Award winners or nominees. They have hundreds of thousands of reads. And I try to pair them up with less popular books in the traditional and indie space. Before we get into things, just a reminder, don't forget to like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you want more content from me. Leave a comment of some kind. You can leave an emoji if you're feeling lazy, but just want to show some support. Every little bit counts. I appreciate any support you're willing and able to give to me. Also, just as an aside, I did burn myself with a curling iron here on my shoulder, so if you see that, that's all that is. Hopefully we'll be gone soon. But without further ado, let's get into the books, because that's what you're here for. So this first one is actually inspired by a recent read of mine. Let me get myself centered so I can put books up here. So if you like Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren, I suggest that you try Lynn Painter's The Love Wager. A lot of these is so similar. When I was reading The Love Wager, I kept looking at the cover of the book and going, have I read this before? Double checking Goodreads. I'm like, I swear I've read this before. Suffice it to say, the plots are really similar to one another, so similar that I'm actually going to describe them together. The rest of the ones I'll explain a little bit more separately. So in both of these, the heroine is having trouble finding the love of her life. Hazel's because she's really quirky, she's got a menagerie of animals, she's just kind of a goofy dressed gal. In Hallie's case in The Love Wager, she's trying to get back out there and turn her life around after just hitting a few speed bumps. Both the main male characters in these books don't have interest in dating our heroine and are trying to find love matches of their own. So the main characters in both of these novels lean on one another in order to continue on in their adventures in dating. In Josh and Hazel's Guide, they are setting each other up and going on dates together. In The Love Wager, they're doing dates on the same days, often running into each other, but debriefing over tacos. The Love Wager, I think, has a little bit more relatable characters, and I think Josh and Hazel's Guide is a little bit more rom-com-y, laugh out loud. That's my first pair of recommendations for you. Next up, I own this book. It's The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. And if you liked this one, I'm gonna recommend you check out Fling by Adriana Locke. So the premise of both of these is that an unlikely couple ends up going on a honeymoon. So there's lots of yummy forced proximity. How the couple comes together is where things differ. In The Unhoneymooners, Olive and Ethan are enemies and the siblings of the couple that got married, and the only two at the wedding that don't get food poisoning. So they're really the only ones that can go on this honeymoon together. So more enemies to lovers. In Fling, Ashley actually called off her wedding, and now she needs to find someone to go on her honeymoon with her because she spent tens of thousands of dollars and it's non-refundable. So her friends host an online social media competition to figure out who she's gonna go with. So more of a blind date and more friends to lovers. Next up, this one's for all my gamer girls. If you're like a gamer girl, let me know, because I'm always curious what people grew up playing, but Unreal Tournament was my thing. If you've read Games We Play by Dana Isali, try Glitch by Brianna Michael. Both of these are novellas. Both of these are about gamers with sexy voices, think corpse, and they do sexy audio recordings on the side. So in Games We Play, it's a one night only. Quinlan is a journalist. She is interviewing a mask wearing gamer. Things quickly become more. This one is on the shorter side. It's under 100 pages, and the hero is way more alpha hole and more of a billionaire. Glitch is longer, over 200 pages. Our hero's a little bit more of a shy cinnamon roll type, but he's very protective and he's got some massive BDE, if you know what I'm saying. So Glitch, our hero in this one, he's been obsessed with Ara. They game together, but they've never seen each other in person until one day Ara's computer breaks, which is oh so convenient because Glitch, he runs a computer repair store, and it's the perfect excuse to start taking their online relationship to the real world. That's recommendation number 3. Recommendation number 4. If you've read The Deal by Elle Kennedy, might I recommend checking out The Blind Side by Candy Steiner. They both take tropes that are done continuously to death and execute them perfectly. And even my friends who think that a lot of spicy fantasy romances are a little bit vapid end up enjoying both of these books. So we have our sweet goody good girls. They end up fake dating the hot shot on campus, our sports heroes, in order to gain the attention of the man they're really interested in. Both of them end up diving into some complex family dynamics. So in the deal, we're dealing with hockey. There's more of a tutor relationship between the hero and heroine. Hannah is very confident in every area of her life except for dating and sex. She's got a little bit of baggage going on there. She agrees to tutor the captain of the hockey team because his grades are in free fall. And in exchange, he's gonna fake date her so she can get the attention of another guy. But he decides that he wants Hannah for himself. On the other side here, blind side, our hero is a football player and our heroine is the media coordinator for the football team. Clay, once again, is the hotshot on campus. This time it's for football though. And he just went through a really rough breakup with his high school sweetheart and he's not doing so well. So he ends up lashing out at the media, which is how Gianna gets involved because she's got to remediate the situation and get him back in line. So they end up agreeing to fake date because he's trying to make his ex jealous and Gianna's trying to catch the attention of a musician on campus. And while Gianna is a smutty bookworm, she doesn't know how to seduce a man, so she enlists the help of Clay. So you can see how both of these are very similar. They execute the tropes slightly differently and both are really well done. All right, next up, we're gonna go with an office romance. If you like The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, I recommend that you try out The Devil You Know by Elizabeth O'Rourke. We've got office rivals, enemies to lovers, some forced proximity, they're working the same jobs, and the heroine is always feeling like the guy gets more praise for the same work. And also, as an aside, both heroines have a very specific sense of style. They're very different, but I thought I'd call that out because I found that kind of entertaining. The Hating Game, Lucy and Josh are supporting some co-CEOs that are rivals. And that ends up bleeding into their life where they end up becoming rivals. They have very polar opposite personalities and now they're competing for the same job. And it's got a little bit of traditional grumpy sunshine. On the other side, Ben and Gemma, they're lawyers. They work at the same law firm. Gemma is really annoyed by Ben. She thinks he's smug and has done some not so scrupulous things with his role at the law firm. Chief among them, stolen a client from her. But everything changes when they're forced to work together because there is a life-changing case that they both need to work on. You can see how we have some delicious office place tension. They're both working the same roles. For all my shoe lovers, Gemma is really into shoes, and so is Ben for that matter. Our last pairing here, if you liked It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, might I recommend you check out Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. Why am I recommending these two? Because they are both dealing with domestic violence. And there's the involvement of a love triangle as well, with one of the legs of this triangle trying to get the heroine out of the relationship. So in It Ends With Us, Lily has a chance meeting with Ryle, who's a really gifted surgeon. Ryle really wants to just sleep with Lily. He doesn't really want to commit to a relationship, but eventually they do fall for one another. But she starts kind of questioning some things about the relationship and begins thinking more and more about her first love and first relationship with Atlas, who recently came back into her life. So it's a little bit more of a second chance. So in Long Shot, Iris is the girlfriend of a soon-to-be NBA player. She ends up running into a rival basketball star, and they bond over their love of basketball while at this bar. That rival is August. August becomes infatuated with Iris, but he knows that he can't have her because she's dating his rival, and her situation is becoming increasingly complex. So if you've watched my unhaul, you'll know that I'm actually not the biggest fan of this book because I don't like how it was mismarketed. Even if this wasn't mismarketed, there is not enough romance in this book for me to love it. Long Shot, on the other hand, it's emotional. It gutted me to read this book. It talked about domestic violence in a much more well-rounded way and gave me the romance I was looking for. So if you're debating between the two because you haven't read either, check out Long Shot. It's the superior choice. And those, my friends, are some recommendations based off of books that you already know and love. So with that, don't forget to like this video if you like it, subscribe if you want more content from me, leave a comment below. Have you read any of these books? Which one of them appealed to you? Are there any other books that you think pair up really well? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. I love chatting with you guys in the comments. Thanks so much for being here, and I hope to see you on my next video. Bye-bye!